Hey everyone, in this episode we're going to be taking a look at making your own solar powered battery bank. These are going to be the solar cells that I'm going to be using for this project here. I wouldn't exactly recommend these ones because each of these is rated for 1.5 volts and 0.65 watts. So it doesn't really give you a lot of output, especially if you're going to be looking to power, your cell phone to be able to make a call or something like that. But I do have 4 of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire them all in series. So that way I can just up my voltage a little bit and it'll be easier. So let's get at it. In series just means that I'm taking the negative lead and I'm putting it onto the positive lead of the solar panel that's adjacent to it. What that's going to do is it's going to add up each solar panel's voltage, so that way at the end you'll have the combined voltages of all of the solar panels. Right off the bat here you can see that I actually messed up and unsoldered the positive terminal. So now I have 2 negative leads on that solar panel. I do go back and fix that later before I continue on. Okay, so now that these are all wired in series, I'm going to make sure that I'm actually getting an output that that reflects what I want here. Thank you, nice trusty multimeter. Look at that. I'll put it in front of the camera here. You can kind of see the 4 volts. If I shine a light on it, it's going to go up. Not very much though, because this isn't real sun, and they're still being covered by some stuff. But rest assured that if we did have a real sun, these would be putting out closer to 6 volts instead of 4. Okay, so now that we have our solar panels wired up here, I'm going to be attaching them to this thing right here. Again, camera's bad, so you won't be able to see it, but I did take a picture of this that's high quality that I can show you. This is a TP4056. This thing is basically going to act as our go-between between the solar panels and our rechargeable batteries. This is going to make the voltage that these things put out usable by the batteries. So let's get at it. Okay, so you can see that it is wired up and working properly. Maybe you can't see it on camera here, but there is a little red light that's going off. Now, because this is a DIY type of deal, I'm going to be salvaging my batteries from another battery bank. This is just a basic as you can get type of battery bank, $4 a Dollarama. But the good thing about the inside of this is that once you take it apart, you're left with this. Now, this is 2 of the things that you're going to need to continue with this project here. First, there's the 18650 battery. This is a rechargeable lithium ion, as well as a voltage regulator, I believe. So this is going to take our output from here and usable in our phone. Now, what's good about salvaging from one that's already, terrible like this is that it comes pre-soldered with the tabs. So that way you don't have to be putting your hot iron directly on to a battery. Because if you do that wrong, then you could possibly explode. And nobody wants to explode. Right now, I'm just going to prep this for integration into this. So now we have our battery and our voltage regulator here. This is where you're going to be plugging in your phone to be able to actually power it. So there are a couple ways to do this here. The way I'm doing it is without the cases, and there'll be a picture of them somewhere here where you can buy just these batteries, and then it's almost like it's a little battery terminal that you can plug these into, like regular AA's or something like that. We're not going to do that because these are already soldered on, and we're salvaging it from this thing. You could take multiple of these batteries and hook them up in series, and then have a bigger battery bank. For the purposes of this video, I'm just going to use one because that's easy, and I like easy. So let's solder this onto here. We're going to be going to the B positive and B negative. Of course, these are respectively. Okay, so I had to do it off camera because I had to move some of the arms out of the way, so I was able to actually get at it properly. Next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting a on-off switch on it, so that way I can turn it on and off. If you made it this far in the video, you're probably asking yourself, why would I ever want to make this? And why did I make a video on me making it? And there's two reasons for that. The first one is that a friend of mine gave me the idea, and when I started looking it up online, there was only really one video that did this kind of thing, and the guy did it just horribly wrong. Like, soldered the solar panels directly onto the batteries. It was just very bad. He was soldering directly on the battery. Horrible, not good practices. And the second reason is this is a worst case scenario type of thing. Maybe you're out hiking, your phone dies, your battery bank dies. If you have the solar panels on it, then you'd be able to leave it out in the sun, charge your phone up just enough to get that one phone call off that could save your life. Other than that, it can be a fun project with your kids to introduce them into the world of electronics. Remember, functionality, not pretty. Okay, so there we are. Our switch is hooked up. Our battery is hooked up. Now the last thing to do would be putting it onto this thing. So, this is where one of those arm things would become in great handy. But we don't need that. We're real techs. Perfect. Now, in theory, as soon as I turn this on, you should be able to charge your phone out of one of these. And when it's off, the solar panels will charge this guy. Now, what's great about using a TP4056 is that you'd actually be able to also charge it with your this thing. Next thing to do would be to put it into a fancy case. I'm going to make sure it works first, though, as janky as this is. light came on, and I'm getting it charging slowly. Nice. So that's how you wire everything up to be able to charge your phone with the sun. Now, obviously, the last step would be to find some sort of case and put everything into it and make it all nice and pretty. I'm not going to do that, mainly because these are not the solar panels that I wanted to be using for this project. I wanted something a bit more powerful, but I didn't get it. So what can you do? I'm going to leave the casing up to you guys if you plan on using this video to build one, just because I don't have anything nice.